Hello watercolor enthusiasts, it's Jennifer with Watercolor Girlfriend. Today we are going to work on two paintings at once. They're smaller paintings, so they're fun to frame and work on. We're working on two different types of paper, which we'll discuss in the video. We're going to incorporate some colors I haven't really worked together in the past. It's fun to explore and work outside your comfort zone and try new things. So that's what we did today. We're gonna work with stencils. We're gonna work with this pretty copper, red copper. Ooh, it's kind of in and out there. It's kind of shimmery and glittery paint. It's from Cotman, the Winsor Newton series. It turned out to be really fun. I have tried it before in the past a little bit, but I really got to explore it a little bit more today. So I hope you enjoy the video and it inspires you to do some painting for yourself. We'll see you over there. We can start right in with my favorite white oil pastel, and I'm going to be working on both of these at once. So maybe I should back up a little. So I taped them together so it gives you the small increment of edging, and I'm using my favorite tape so far. Someone else recommended grabbing some tape from the dollar store, just some regular tape, but I'm not convinced it won't tear the paper, so I haven't tried that yet, but I'm definitely willing to explore other tapes. I like this one because you can see through it, so you can put it down on your paper easily and find the edge simply. I was using the green tape for quite a while. I also like this. It's fine. This one I can reuse maybe a couple of times. I do set it aside, and I also clean it because if the watercolor is on the tape, if you run across it again, the next time you use it, it will go onto the painting. So I do clean it after I've set it aside, but just wanted to let you know where I started, and we're gonna get moving. Now you can't probably see this quite as well as I can, and even sometimes I can't see it, but I am trying. I don't know. Actually, I should also mention that I'm using two different papers today. One is a cotton-based paper, so it's all cotton. This one over here. And this one is actually a new paper to me. This is Strathmore mixed media, and it's actually a 184 pound, but it's still the 300 GM squared. It's out of the 400 series if you want to look into it. I did get it at Michael's. It is smooth as I like it, so I wanted to try it, and it's a mixed media, so not specifically geared towards watercolor. I'm sure it should be fine for both, right? So we're going to give this one a try, and I'm really excited about it. I apologize, I can't remember how much it was. I don't like to pay too much. So I'm excited to give these a try, and we're gonna get right into that. I also wanted to let you know I was going to try some other colors I don't often try. I like to get outside my comfort zone, and we're gonna go with like a blue, a yellow, and like a pinky color of my choice. Get my brush wet here. This one has a little bit of gunk actually in it, so it got a little bit greenish, which I'm willing to give a try. I want to see that bleeding in. Fun. I really like how this is turning out. I'd like to add some light pink now. I'm going to actually test some colors on my little piece of paper here. So I'm finding that mixing together, I have this, it's actually kind of a rosy color. I really like that look. They even fit together. That's kind of fun. Although be careful. See, if you don't want it to bleed together, just make note of that. Lovely. This paint actually has a little bit of glitter in it. You can't really tell on camera. It's really subtle. But adds a little fun. A little shimmer, I should say. And I'm going to actually blot where the oil pastel was because I do want to keep that look. Yeah, fantastic. I'm actually going to add a little of my crayon, and sometimes I'll dip it in water. And that kind of is like a melting. And I'm keeping it in the blue section just because. And while some of this is still wet, I'm going to just bring some of it out to give some areas some texture. You can even go over some of the other paint. I hope you can see that pretty good there. Yeah, great. I'm going to add a little more of this rosy color. move some of it around with the sponge. I'm gonna fill some of it back in. It's a nice color. It's really starting to go together nicely. And this area can start to get a little muddy, but I'm not sure I'm really opposed to that. It'll give it a darker, richer color. We'll come back after that dries a little more. I'm gonna put a little salt in there. Nice big section that'll have some cool texture. And we'll let that dry and come back. It's dried nicely, so I can remove the bits of salt. Some of them do kind of just dissolve, and they can actually kind of give it its own sparkly effect. I like the organic feel, you know, of things and the way it's moving around the paper. I think I'm ready to call it done. Both of them. And they're both just a little different, but you could hang them together. And I have this mat that I like to refer to before I take the tape off, see if I like what's going on. I could certainly add more to it, but I like that it's not too overdone as well. And I'm going to take the tape off. I'm really happy to see it didn't leak. And the paper on the right was the cotton paper, and this was the purchased paper that was for mixed media. And I like them both. I think they both held up pretty well. The cotton paper a little different. I do think the paper on the left warped a smidge while working on it, but it settled down nicely. I think they're really fun double pieces together. You know, you can really hang them any way you'd like. They kind of give you the underwater feel. Expect some fish maybe to go by. And you know, if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and leave some comments. Do you have any questions about the materials we used today, or the techniques that we incorporate in these paintings? Would love to hear from you. And thanks for those of you who comment already. I've talked to some of you about the paint that we use here, that I use here, the tape that I've used. So reach out, would love to hear from you, and happy painting.